On this episode of the Whiskey Tornado, we review Barrell Spirits Seagrass Rye. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Whiskey Tornado. I'm your host, Lance. Today, I'm excited to review a new expression from Barrell Spirits. As you guys know, Barrell Spirits is a company that sources and blends bourbons, and quite frankly, I think they do a good job. I think a lot of people pass them on the shelves too often, but I understand why. Sometimes they can be a little hit and miss for the price. Before we get into this very interesting bottle, let me quickly explain our scoring system here on the Whiskey Tornado. We have 7 categories. We rate 0 to 1, 0.5 being average. We have 2 categories that are handicapped because it's just not as important as what's in the bottle, but it's still important. Those 2 categories are appearance and availability. In addition to those 2 handicap categories, we review the nose, palate, finish, body, and value. At the end, we add all those up. A score of 3 or better is bar worthy. A score of 4 or better is bunkersome, in case the distillery no longer makes one of your favorite bourbons. Now, before we get into this, I always tell you guys, don't take this too seriously. Really, what's important is this bottle worth buying or is it worth leaving on the shelves? That's all I'm here to help you guys do as we really take a deep dive into this bourbon and dissect it a little bit. All right, guys, so before we get into the categories, let's talk about this a little bit. This Barrell Seagrass comes to us at 118 proof. This is sourced whiskey coming out of Kentucky, Indiana, Tennessee, and Canada. So we have some Kentucky rye, some MGP rye, probably some Dickel rye, and then some Canadian rye mixed in here. Then it's finished in Martinique Rum, Madeira, and Apricot Brandy Barrels. So very, very unique. I'm really excited to get into this. Now, I will preface this. Most of the time when I review a bottle, I've had some time, I've let it open up a little bit. This one I got today and I'm just diving right in because I'm super excited to try it and I wanted to get a review out to you guys as soon as possible. All right, let's get into our first category. That is appearance. Again, this is a handicapped category because the appearance isn't as important as what's in the bottle, but it's still important. To me, this one is not as attractive as even most of the other Barrell bottles. The bottle shape's fine, I don't mind that, but the labels are just a little boring to me. The actual colors of this like light blue, kind of neon green actually look really cheap to me. I am not digging the labeling. I like clean, modern sometimes. Sometimes I like it to be old, but this is just, I don't know. It's just not doing it for me. It does stand out on the shelves, but the labeling is just not that great for me. We're gonna give it less than average. I'm gonna give this one a 0.4. All right, moving on to availability. The availability on this, I think, is better than average. You know, a lot of people pass these on the shelves. This particular expression from Barrell Spirits just came out. We're gonna give it better than average. We're gonna give it a 0.6. All right, enough of all that. Let's get into the good stuff. Let's get into what's in the bottle. Let's go to the nose on this. Oh my goodness. The nose is so good, so sweet, so candy forward. Beautiful notes of rye in there. The first note that really jumps out on the glass to me on the nose is just like candied butterscotch. And then there's vanilla. You can smell that this is a rye. There's like, I don't know if it's power of suggestion, this being called seagrass, but you know, typically in ryes I get citrus notes like lemon and lime. And I feel like there is definite like lemongrass to this. Oh my God. God, the nose is so beautiful. I am loving this nose. I'm trying to figure out what that sweet candied note is. I know exactly what it is. If you guys pick this up, tell me if I'm wrong. There is a strong note of like orange or like lemon lime sherbet. That is exactly what that is. It's like orange or lemon lime sherbet on the nose. Oh, I love it. Man, I could smell this all day. There's also like a citrusy fruit, like grilled pineapple in there. Oh, man, the nose is fantastic. I'm gonna give the nose a 0.9. All right, let's move on to the palate. Cheers, everybody. Oh, wow. Oh, this is so good. I gotta run back and get another bottle of this. Oh man, it's like, I mean, if I had to use just a couple words to describe it, it's just a citrus candy bomb. It's so sweet. And at 118 proof, boy, it is crushable. I mean, you can get yourself in trouble with this. Let me take another sip and kind of dissect the flavors here. Oh, it's beautiful. Man, if you like rye, you've got to pick this up. It's, sometimes when brands do these finishings, they can do it too long, and nothing's like super standing out to me. Like, I think I'm getting a little bit of those like rum spices, but I can't really pick it out. If I'm really searching, I think I can pick up some of those Madeira notes, but if I was tasting this blind, I wouldn't pick them up. I wouldn't catch it. It's like the perfect balance, perfect blended flavors. I don't know that I'm getting like apricot in here. Oh, maybe. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely getting some of those like grilled pineapple notes that I said. Definite like that citrus candy, citrus sherbet. Oh man, lemon. There's definitely some lemon in there. Peppery spice, like dances all over your tongue. Man, that is really good. I'm gonna give the palate a 0.9. Golly, that is so sweet, so fantastic. I feel like it's so well blended. It didn't spend too much time in any of those barrels. It feels like it just spent the perfect amount of time. Nothing standing out, just really well-rounded, very well balanced. This is one you could sit down with and really enjoy and pick out the flavors. Or if you're sitting by a pool, you could crush this. With all those citrus flavors, this is a summer whiskey if I've ever had one. On the palate, we're gonna give it a 0.9. All right, moving on to the finish. Let me take another sip here. Finish is where I might knock it a little bit. I said it's crushable because the finish just kind of goes away. You have to take lots of sips. You're like, oh, what is that good sweet note? You got to take another sip pretty quick to find it, to figure out what you're tasting. The finish isn't super long, especially for 118 proof. Again, that's why I said it's pretty crushable. But my goodness, is it good. I'm going to give the finish a 0.6. It's just a little better than average. All right, moving on to body. Body is definitely an area I'm gonna knock this. It's a little thin, not super heavy. I'm not always a fan of Canadian rye. I'm sure there's a lot of that blended in here, but it doesn't have quite the heft that a lot of whiskeys that I personally love have. And again, that finish goes away. We're gonna give the body less than average a 0.4. All right, moving on to value. This is a non-age stated rye, but it's blended in some great casks, and it's a mixture of Kentucky, Indiana, Tennessee, and Canadian rye. So, it is a little expensive. I bought this bottle for $80. However, what's in here is really fantastic and very artfully blended, in my opinion. So I'm not upset with it. I don't think I got some great value at $80, but I'm certainly happy with what I bought. I don't feel ripped off. I'm gonna give it right down the middle. We're gonna give the value a 0.5. Actually, Due to the taste, I'm gonna bump it to a 0.6. Better than average, because I feel good about this and I wanna go buy another bottle because it's just that damn good. All right, before we wrap this up and I give you my final score, I do wanna add just a little bit of water to it, and let's see what a little bit of water does. You know, I said the body was a little thin, so I'm not even sure it needs water. I know some of you like to put this on ice, and again, there's no wrong way to drink your whiskey. You drink it however you like, but I do want to add some water to this and see what happens. Wow, those like, when I add water to it, the like pineapple notes and almost like a little cilantro or something like just exploded. A definite apricot is there. I'm picking up that even like honeyed apricot more when I added the water on the nose. Let's go for the taste real quick. I feel like I'm picking up a little bit more of the oak tannins and the vanilla with the water, but you don't need to proof this down, at least in my opinion, not for my palate. This is really good where it is. I tell you what, if the finish were a little bit better and the body were better, this would be one of my all-time favorite whiskeys. It is super crushable, very unique, very sweet, very candy forward. If you guys see this on the shelves, do yourselves a favor and pick it up. You are not going to be sorry. It is really, really good. I don't know that many people are talking about it yet, but my goodness, Barrell is doing some really good things. I had their batch 27, which I absolutely loved. And this is one of my favorite ryes ever, I think. I just wish the finish was longer. I wish it was a little heavier, but again, you know, it's probably got a lot of that Canadian rye in there, but still really, really good. Man, this bottle is not gonna last long. The overall score on this is a 3.8. It's at the high end of bar worthy, approaching bunkersome. And I would say bunkersome. I think a lot of people that come over that say they don't like rye, you give them this, they are gonna love it. What they did with those rum barrels and Madeira and Apricot Brandy Barrels, just really artfully done, not overly done, perfect blend. I love it. 3.8 on this bottle. If you see it, I think it's well worth $80. All right, guys, until next review, cheers.